In today's training, I want to walk you through a scenario where we give our clients advice and we also show them how that advice will affect the probability of success for their plan, the estate tax outcome, and we show them the impacts of choosing one portfolio over another, as well as how choosing a retirement age might affect the asset values of their plan over the long term. So I'm going to start by showing you this client's plan as they are today. So this is their base plan. They have a current net worth of $4.1 million. This is all of their assets, both liquid and illiquid. Their primary asset in a liquid form is this non-registered account and their business. And what we want to take a look at are two primary questions that they have for us today. One is, can they retire at 63 rather than their respective age 65s, which is what we have listed here in the base plan. And then also they're wanting to decide on which portfolio to invest their non-registered assets in. What we're going to do is first go to our Let's See screen and compare whether or not we're going to be experiencing any shortfall in the plan if they do decide to retire at 63. So I'm going to go to Let's See, Compare Plans, and we're going to look at Retire at 63. And the first portfolio we're going to look at is portfolio 1. And you can see here we're not seeing any shortfall in the plan. If we had any shortfall projected, we would see red in the plan. Even with retiring at age 63, you can see this here. Retirement has been moved to 63 rather than here on the top plan where we have it at 65. No shortfall projected, so we can confidently say that if everything were going to plan, we would be fine with retiring at 63 in portfolio 1. We can switch this over to portfolio 2 and see that with portfolio 2 we would see the same thing. I'm going to switch this over to portfolio 1 and compare these two portfolios against each other. I also want to look at plan worth and see what the difference would be between the plan worth outcomes. So we can see we would get a more optimistic plan worth with portfolio 1 than with portfolio 2, which would be a more conservative outcome. We can see the two differences between these two outcomes here. And the next thing I want to do is look at the probability of success between these two plans. To do that, I'm going to go to my insights and I'm going to look at our Monte Carlo insights. So I'm going to run a Monte Carlo on both of these plans. To do that, I'm going to switch over to portfolio 1 and I'm going to run a Monte Carlo on portfolio 1. You can do this anywhere between 50 to 1,000 iterations. For time today, I'm going to do it just on 50 iterations. And we're going to see what the probability of success would be on portfolio 1. Okay, we can see that with that Monte Carlo run, we're currently looking at a probability of success for this plan with the retire at 63 and our assets invested in portfolio 1 of 96%. And you do a couple of things to remember about the Monte Carlo simulation. Oh, we actually have it finished and we now have a probability of success of 94%. So we can save these results and those will be saved the next time we come back to this simulation, and we can also then run a report for this simulation later. A couple things to remember about the Monte Carlo simulation is you do need to have your assets in an asset allocation for the simulation to be able to run. It needs the bounds of that asset allocation for it to be able to run. And then you do need to have some goals for it to be able to test the plan against. So it's going to say there's a 94% chance that it will be able to achieve all of these goals in each of the years of the plan. And then you can hover over any year of the plan and see what the minimum and maximum invested returns are expected to be in that year. And then you can also click over to the yearly probability of success, and we can see all the way over until the later years of the plan, starting at about age 87 or 85 respectively. That's when we start seeing a dip in the probability of success. So it's not until the later years that we see less than 100% probability of success. Now, you can also go and do this again with retire at 63 in portfolio 2. and see what the probability of success is for that plan, and then click Get Started, and you can see which of these plans has a higher probability of success, and compare and contrast those two plans against each other to help determine which of the plans has a higher probability of success. Once you've run the Monte Carlo on the second version of the plan, we can see here on this version of the Monte Carlo, this plan has 100% probability of success with portfolio 2, so we can compare and contrast those two outcomes and make a decision with our clients based on that information. And then you can go into another what if scenario, and if you want to build on that, for example, in this one I've done a retire at 63 and also put in some giving goals for the clients to address some of their estate tax concerns. So we can go into this one. I could do another Monte Carlo and see the outcome of that one. I can also go into my estate tax insight and test the estate tax outcome. So if I wanted to do retire at 63 portfolio 2 plus giving goals and test this plan against my retire at 63 with portfolio 2 and see what the outcome is of the estate tax after I've added in some additional giving goals to charity and to the child throughout the plan, and how that affects their estate tax outcome. You can also run this insight and see how that helps their overall estate taxes. Another thing that I like to use is the estate tax comparison. I find that this is the easiest way to see this. You can just hover over any year in the chart and see what the estate tax outcome would be and how that charitable giving and the giving to the child would affect the estate tax outcome. So you can see here we've got almost $2 million in estate taxes saved. And just to give you a little bit of an idea of what I've done here, going back to dashboard and going to goals, I've added some charitable giving in the goals section and some giving to their son Philippe. And you can do that via this plus button and going to goals, and we have a gifting goal here. So you can say whether or not it's to a person in the plan or to a charity, and the taxes will be applied appropriately. I hope that this has been helpful. If you do have any questions or you'd like any assistance modeling any of this, please do reach out to us. You can always click the name of your client in the top right, request support, enter your question into the text box, and share client access. Thanks for listening.